Hello, this is Jack with Fredneck 4x4. Today, we're going to be replacing the running boards on this 2020 Jeep Wrangler Sierra 4-door. And so we're going to get this back in the shop. It's a pretty nice looking vehicle. The customer just bought it. But we're going to pull these off and we're going to put some rough country running boards that are electric. So when you open the door, they drop down. When you close the door, they come up like rock guards. And we'll get this into the shop and give you some video of us doing it.
This rough country U-board kit comes with 5 boxes in it. 2 of them have the running boards in it. This is what the box looks like. Here it is open. This is what the brand new one is going to look like when it is put on the Jeep. I already pulled one of the stock ones off. So can compare that side to side here real quick. So they're slightly shorter, only by about 2 or 3 inches, but you know, nice aluminum here. And then it comes with 3 more boxes inside. 2 of them are going to have your motors that are going to bolt on right here, and this is where the running board will attach on the bottom. And so here's 2 of the motors, here's the other 2. And this box here is going to have everything else in it. So you're going to have a wiring harness here. It's going to be important for later. So little sensors for your doors and magnets that go in to tell the whole system when the doors are open. Here is going to be a bunch of zip ties and all your hardware you're going to need to put this together. Let's see what else. We got these these are wrapped up, but these are protective brackets for the motors. I think these are only for the 4-door models. There's these brackets, which help stiffen up the motors in the back. These are 4-door only, I think, as well. And then here is a little computer for everything. This gets mounted on the bottom, I believe. And this is where your whole wiring harness will plug in. And yeah, that's all the parts to put this thing together. This is hard. So I've got this Jeep up here on the lift now. I've already taken the passenger running board off, the stock one, and I've realized that this whole thing's gonna have to be on the ground for the rest of the installation. But I'm just gonna leave it up here to show you how to take the stock running board off here so we can install the new ones. So, okay, so now I am underneath the driver's side of the Jeep here. Well, I gotta take off 6 nuts and 3 bolts to get this guy to drop. It should be super easy as long as they aren't rusty on you. You're gonna have these 3 bits that go up and connect into your Jeep here. Third one is right back here. So what you're gonna need is 10mm for the nuts. So I like to do this part first. So you're gonna have 1 nut here, and the other one's gonna be on the other side. And it's gonna be the same for these 2 as well. So I'm gonna get this guy on here and start loosening it. Once you get all of those out across here, you're going to take out these bolts right here. There we go. And so it doesn't really matter what order you take this hardware out, because all the nuts and bolts are out and it's not going anywhere. It's going to sit on these studs. So now what you're going to do is just grab this guy, you know, just gently pull out and down, and this thing is really light, so you don't have to worry about hurting yourself trying to take this out. And that's how you take out the stock ones. The next step now is going to be to start installing the e-board motors here. The instructions say to start on the passenger side with the rear one here, which is going to be labeled right here, rear right, which is the rear and the right side of the vehicle. So these go on pretty simple. As you can see here, you got your 2 holes. These are from the stock ones here where they came out. And this is basically, it's going to go up here. We're going to take that little stiffener bracket. You see it's got these threads here. Stiffener bracket goes here, as well as 2 of the bolts with the lock washer and a regular washer underneath it. They just go in and that'll hold that in place. And there's another bolt that goes up through the middle here and up into the threads from that one bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all those parts. Within that bigger bag of hardware, you're going to have this little bag of washers and lock washers. And you're going to have a couple bolts. I already prepared these ones because the instructions say M8 by 35, which obviously these aren't labeled because why would they do that? So what you're going to have to do is you can either go up to the vehicle and check it, or you can take some thread shredders like these. You're going to want to find where it says M8, which is going to be all the way down here. So looks like a fine pitch. So yeah, these are going to be the M8s, and then you check length here, and that's 35 millimeters. So these are the correct bolts. So go ahead and put them on. So anyways, once you grab all the hardware you need, which is going to be 3 of these bolts with the lock washer here, and then your regular washer over top of that. And you're just going to want to line this up behind here. You want to put this bracket on there. It's going to be kind of hard to do one-handed. Get some of that dirt out of there. So it's going to go right up in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Got that threaded hole from that bolt we took out earlier. That's just going to line up nicely. There we go. So I'll get an impact to tighten these up. These look like, I can go check real quick. These guys are 13 millimeter. Okay. So now you're going to want to install the front motor here. It's going to be labeled front right for passenger. This one doesn't have one of those little brackets like that one. So for the bolts that go through here, they're going to be the shorter ones, 25 millimeter is what it says. This is what it looks like compared to the 35. As you can see, it's quite a bit shorter. And you're still going to need one of those 35 for the bolt that goes up under. But for the 2 front ones, it's going to be these 25s. So you're going to want to just line that up. Get that started in there. Not sure if I said it for the rear one, but these guys, you just want to tighten it up a little bit. You still want to be able to adjust it and stuff. Okay. Install this guy right here. I'm just gonna get him just up in there, but not tight. Okay. So once you get both of the motors mounted on the passenger side, you just repeat the same exact steps for the driver's side as well, making sure you put this little bracket on the rear, the longer bolts, and then shorter bolts up there with no bracket. And then the next step is to put these little protective brackets on the vehicle. I believe these are only for the 4-door models, according to the parts list here. and they don't label these ones, so you're gonna have to pull them out and line it up with the diagram like this one here. So that's drivers. This one should be passenger. Yep, there we go. So let's put the passenger one on first here. What you're gonna need are these M12 bolts, and same thing like for the little motors, you got a block washer and a regular washer on that. You're gonna need 2 of these for each side here, and you're also gonna need this little guy. It's gonna slide up in and thread on. What you're supposed to do is take this bar, and it goes up in here, and you kind of just push it on over here. So you have threads there for this bottom one. When you line it up to go in, go very gently. Try to get that started now. There we go. Yeah, I got it. And that'll catch on the side of the thing when it starts spinning. I've got that hand tight. For up top here, obviously there's nothing back there. So I think you need to take this guy. And there is a hole right up there. So I'm gonna go in behind with this. I go sideways and turn it and kind of line it up and try to get that bolt to start. Here we go. That actually is pretty easy. Should have got that one, that guy started, and just tighten these up here. I'm gonna hold on to, I've still got the little welded piece in the back here I can hold on to. These are 18 millimeter. I'll tighten this up a bit. Not gonna go too crazy tight with these. Now that's on there to protect this little motor piece. Now we're gonna mount the computer that controls all the stuff, the motors. And that comes in this bag here. You pull it out. You see it's got these welded nuts on the inside. So what we're gonna do is, like the instructions say, we're gonna go on that passenger side, and then the 2 holes that are in the middle, I think we're just gonna put that guy up there, line it up on the inside, and then we're just gonna put 2 bolts in. It says use the 2 supplied bolts. There's another bag with all the zip ties and stuff and some fuses, and I'm assuming these are the 2 bolts they are talking about here. So we're just gonna open these up. What we're gonna do is take the computer unit here. It's gonna face up like this, and just go right here in between the 2 motors on the passenger side. And then we'll get these guys started here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten these up. And there we go, now that's mounted. So for this next step, we're gonna be installing the running boards now. See these little blocks, they slide in this channel so you can adjust where they are, back and forth on the vehicle. These slide in and line up with the motor mounts, and these have threads in them for these little hex bolts. They have a bit of Loctite on them. These are going to be a 5 millimeter. Got a 5 millimeter bit here. Go in there, spin that in real nice for us. Gonna go ahead and get this lined up and get some bolts in it. So, I'm gonna take these guys. Got it on a little pad here to keep it from getting scratched up. I'm gonna kind of just line these up by eye here. Let's see. I'm gonna lift this up. Okay, that one dropped in. This one, I'm just doing this by feel, needs to move over this way a little bit. I think he dropped in as well. I'm just gonna be super careful here. It is holding in on its own, but it could fall off, so I'm not gonna risk scratching these up here. I'm gonna kind of slide this down a bit. I'm just gonna get the bolts started and then I'll do some adjustment after that. Still holding this on so it doesn't fall. We've got some holes right there. You can see it's where the bolts go in. Okay, that one's started. We'll start these guys by hand because I don't want to strip out those threads. Okay. That's not gonna fall out now. Same thing on this side. Just gonna take 2 more of these guys. Just gonna get these. Now we've got the board on here. It's not tightened down all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and shimmy it back and forth here. I'll get this in a spot I like and then tighten it up. When we do it on the other side, we'll measure from there that little bit and make sure it matches. Tighten up the running boards, and then once you get those 2 underneath the 2 little hex bolts tight, you're gonna want to go back and tighten up the 3 bolts on each of the motors. So the 2 here and then the 1 up underneath on all of them around, and then this stuff's all good and tight now. And now we're just on to plugging in all the wires. Now we're gonna start doing some of our wiring here. Go inside the vehicle. On our passenger side is what we're starting on here. So you gotta remove, set this guy out the way. So we're gonna have to take this panel off. This guy should just kind of pull off. This trim isn't really, these trim pieces in these Jeeps aren't really held in by a lot. So we're gonna leave all that. I'm just gonna tuck that there. Here, I'm gonna go down here. I'm just gonna stick my hands right under here. Just pull up gently. You can kind of hear all those clips coming out. So just, okay. Yeah, you pull up, you get the bottom loose, and you've got connector right here, so you're gonna have to pull out that way. There you go. And these just pull out too. So you can see, just pull gently, of course. This plastic will crack, especially on older Jeeps. Front here. Just gently pry this guy back. I'm just gonna pull him out. Pull up on this guy. Okay, so my correction here, don't pull up on that, just pull out. That's the way that works, so towards the other side of the vehicle. Then that should be loose here, I believe. Let's see, get it out from. Just gonna gently flex that around. Then you have to work that guy through that gap. And then this panel piece should just come right out. I'm gonna set that there. The instructions from them, you're supposed to put this little guy, called a door module, but it's their little sensor, right under this latch hook for the door. So we're gonna go ahead and peel this off. Get that out of here. Go ahead and just stick him right under there. Now we got this little foam. Peel it back. It's supposed to protect this wire. So I'm just gonna slide it up on there without getting it stuck on the metal just yet. For this particular installation, I'm just going to tuck it up and behind here. So when you attach these little sensors, you're going to want the front one's going to be this fork here for the ground, and the one in the back is going to have one of these connectors sticking out. This is the one that's going to go underneath and connect to a wire that's going to tell the computer, hey, this side of the car has a door open, so it's going to need to drop the running board. So you're going to want this one probably on the rear side. I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you run it. Anyways, so the ground is coming from the front, and what you're going to do is find a factory ground point. There's one right back here. You can see he's got that ground cable on here. So I've already loosened it up, I think. Yeah. What I'm going to do is just extend this wire out here so that it'll reach here. I'm going to put it on there. And I'm going to put a bit of ground loop on here. Yep, there you go. Fits on right like that. Cut this guy. I'm going to strip it here. And then we use these heat shrink butt connectors here. Get that guy in. Here's some black wire I have, which is a much thicker gauge, but it's not going to matter much. This is a 14 gauge. So go ahead. I'm just going to heat this guy out. Okay. So I left the camera off for a while. I've gotten all the wiring pretty much complete. I'm still wrapping up some of it, but I want to show you what I did. It's fairly self-explanatory. You know, we got these little guys stuck in. I just showed you that. What I did was I took the wiring harness. It's already in the vehicle, so I can't exactly just show you, but the way it works is that you got this whole bundle. It comes in a bundle, you undo it. It's gonna have a bunch of wires coming off, and all the plugs are labeled for which motor they go to. See how that says rear right? So that's gonna plug into, you know, your rear right motor, and you know, so on and so forth. You plug all those in to each other. The instructions don't really say it, but I believe they want you to run the wire underneath the vehicle across the other side. You got one side, or a wire that comes off, or obviously the motor is on this side of the vehicle over here, because that's where they are, because the main harness comes off right over here. We didn't do that because you got a bunch of stuff down there. You got an axle, you have the fuel tank, exhaust, everything that's like not really great for wires. I'm assuming this is a little sleeve, rubber sleeve that goes over the loom they give you. And it's like, I'm assuming this is what's supposed to protect the wire, but you know, that's not really gonna do much of anything. So we decided to run it up through this drain plug here. And then it goes across underneath the carpet and the seat to the other side here. However, when you do that, you're gonna have to splice the wires, so you cut them. We had to extend it as well because it just wasn't long enough. Even with the stock harness that comes with the e-boards, I'm not sure if you could run it all the way across the other side without having issues of length. So you might have to extend some of these wires and stuff. You know, basic things. Because you can see this is where I had to cut it, connected a bunch of wires up, ran it across, and then reconnected it over there. So yeah, basic stuff if you know vehicle wiring. You see here, and I can show you, they do work. Which is pretty cool. I don't have the door switches working just yet. I can't show you how they work though. So they give you a bunch of these magnets. What you're supposed to do is, we have the sensors already stuck on. And these magnets are gonna go on the door here so that when it shuts, they line up with this sensor here. For now, I'm just gonna stick it next to it so it'll trigger it. I'm gonna do it over here too. Well, once I place this magnet right here, and then now I'm gonna take it away because like I'm opening it. There we go. I'm gonna shut it again. Okay, so there's a little bit of I believe there's supposed to be a bit of a delay for when you close the doors. Here, I can show you the wiring underneath the vehicle here. What I did was I've got the harness plugged in here into the little computer, and then it's got the wires running. It's got power to the battery running up here, as well as this is the wire for this motor. I'm gonna get you upright. So the wire for the motor here, and this is going up underneath the fender well up to the battery. And then you're gonna have two of these wires are the ones that have to go to the other side. So this is for the motors, and then this brown wire is going up to the little sensors on the passenger side to trigger them. This white one is for the driver's side. And these two black wires are for the on-off switch, which I also have over there, which is going to go over to the driver's side. So I had to cut those, put wires on it to extend it up into the cab. And then here's the other motor wire. So it's some pretty simple stuff. You just plug it in. You might have to extend wires. And here it is coming up. Here, I've got it coming up through that little hole right next to the battery compartment. And that wire's just running up right under here, this plastic piece. You see I can pull that down. See that little bit of loom there? Because this area doesn't have heat exposed to it. If you go a little bit closer towards inside the engine, you got a bunch of problems.
Just a quick thing, you'll see the wires right here. Factory gave us, they have a loom on it. That's fine, but we're going near the engine compartment, so we're going to use this stuff to test the tape. It's a special type tape. It's a cloth tape, and it's made to handle heat. And you'll see it on stuff like, you'll see here where they have it on the battery terminal and everything. That's because this tape's made to protect it. A lot of the manufacturers, when they build these systems, these add-on systems, they just put loom on it. I just don't trust loom by itself. And so we're going to hit it with this tape. We'll wrap it, and it's not that hard to do. You just start there, and we're going to overwrap it. Just overlap all the way back. We'll do the same thing on all of our little exposed wire sections too, just to protect them. Just a professional installer tip to let you know. So there you go.
So I realized I've skipped a few steps. This Jeep build is complete now with the e-boards. But let me show you a couple things I had to do to get this completed. Here it is working if you want to see it. Board comes right down like it's supposed to. So once you got all your wiring stuff completed, you put your trim back on, same way it came off. Got our sensor down here. And this won't work just on its own. It also has a little magnet you got to place. And it's that little guy right there. Way to place it is you just get it super close to where you want it. And I used, before taking off the backing, this is just sticks on with adhesive. You want to go ahead and take some blue tape and put it on the top and just stick it on there and get it kind of in the spot you think it should go. Don't peel that backing just yet. And then you want to go ahead and test it. So shut your door and pretend like I have blue tape on there. And if go ahead, if it works like it's supposed to, you want to go ahead and open this guy up. Then you're going to peel that tape back and stick that on in the same spot you had it, and it should be good to go. So that's how you do that part. And, looks pretty sharp.
I'm Jack with Fredneck 4x4. You've just watched the video of Zach installing these. This is the e-board, running board, steps. This is a 2020 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. And kind of show you, we open the door, see it come down. We got a nice groove tread here, give you really good traction. Nice strong system. You have two strong arms here on it that each have motors on it to raise it up and down. Close the door, it goes up. Also, when it goes down, there's some LED lights underneath that come on. We're in full sunny daylight right now, middle of the afternoon, so you're not going to be able to see the light. But at night, it's very helpful to see the tread. So that's the product. Wasn't that hateful to install, but it's a good product. You'll see in the video when that bad to install. A lot of wiring, so if you're not comfortable wiring, you definitely want to go to a professional shop like ourselves. We did do some things that some of the other wiring shops don't do. We use Testa tape on the loom. I think you probably saw that in some of the video, which is a specialized tape that seals it as well as is heat resistant. Please take and hit the bell for us and subscribe to us and give us a like on this video and share it with your friends. Thank you.